Once upon a time, far away in eastern Nigeria, there lived a young handsome arrogant prince. His name is Azari. He is the only heir to the throne and as such proud and spoilt. He bullies his age mates and is very rude to the elders. One cool evening, Azari is at the famous local palm wine hut, where he spends most of his time drinking palm wine and making fun of passerby with his silly friends and overzealous maidens. An old woman interrupts their merriment. "Well done, my children, please can you take me to the palace? I am a traveler, I need somewhere to lay my head for the night." Azari laughs out loud and his friends follow suit. "You this old witch, why should my father harbor a stranger like you? I'm sure your people sent you exile, now you're looking for where to spread your doom," he says. The old woman is shocked and sad. She falls to her knees begging. "I am only traveling for business, I am hungry and tired, I would be gone at first light tomorrow." But Azari refused to listen. He continued raining abuses at the woman until she gets angry. The old woman stood up, her eyes red from anger. She brings out a small red gourd from her bag, points it at Azari and places a curse on him, turning his voice to that of a chicken. She then disappears into thin air. In the palace, the king and queen pace around worried for the prince. They had summoned the chief priest. The priest proceeds to consult the oracle and it was revealed that the old woman whom the prince abused was in fact the river goddess and she is very angry with him because of his rude behavior. The priest announces to the king that they need to make a sacrifice to the goddess in order to reverse the curse. But there is one condition: the sacrifice has to be taken to the river bank at night and it before the next full moon, which is just 7 days away. The king sent the town crier to make the announcement around the kingdom that the king is in search of a virgin to carry sacrifice on behalf of the prince. He also promises to give the maiden lots of riches and property once the curse is reversed. Despite the reward attached, 4 days goes by with no volunteer. Everybody is scared as there's no assurance the maiden will come back alive from the perilous journey. Zina, daughter of a poor farmer, decides to volunteer because of her sick father. She tells her friend Zara of her plans. "I want to volunteer for the sacrifice. I could use the reward to take care of my father. I can't just watch him die." Zara hugs her tightly. "I know how much you love your father, Zina. I promise to look after him in your absence. Please come back to us in one piece." The two friends cries bitterly as they know the chance of Zina coming back is very slim. The chief priest prepares Zina for the journey. Zina is adorned in a white wrapper and beads in her hair and neck. She carries the sacrifice on her head with a warning from the priest, telling her not to ever look back once she begins the journey. Zina set out on this dangerous quest. She crosses hills and mountains before getting to the river the evening of the 7th day. At the river bank, Zina places the sacrifice at the river bank, then proceeds to pray for the prince, asking for forgiveness from the river goddess. After several minutes of prayer with no sign of the goddess, Zina rescinds her fate and turns back towards home. She concludes that the goddess is not accepting the sacrifice. She is scared to go back to the village, so she decides to spend the night under a tree in the forest. As she sleeps, she hears the sound of someone crying nearby. Zina follows the voice until she reaches a small opening where a wounded girl sits crying softly. "Hello there, what happened to you?" The girl told Zina she is lost and her leg got broken due to a terrible fall from the hilltop. Zina goes into the nearby bush to collect herbs. She then squeezes them over the girl's wound and covers the wound with a small piece of cloth she tears from her own wrapper. The girl watches Zina in amazement. She says softly, "You have such a pure heart, and it is because of your kindness I will accept to lift the curse on the prince." Zina looks confused, not understanding the girl. The girl rose up magically and transformed into a very beautiful mermaid. She has light illumination all over her, floating in the air. She points the staff in her hand to Zina and a small white gourd appears in Zina's hand. "Take this to the prince to drink, his voice will return back to normal," the goddess says. Zina thanks her profusely and hurried home with the magical water. On the raffia mat, firelight surrounds him. The priest stands over him. Zina sits at the foot of the mat watching the process. The priest takes the gourd, raises Azari's head and makes him drink from it. Azari starts shaking and he goes unconscious. Few minutes later, Azari wakes up, his mother rushes to him hugging him tightly. He calls his mother, and he starts crying asking for forgiveness. He goes to Zina thanking her. The following day, the king called Zina to the palace to fulfill his promise. Zina tells the king all she wants is for her father to be taken care of. The king called for the best physician and Zina's father started receiving medical attention immediately. Before Zina's father is taken to the physician court, the queen asks for his permission to give Zina's hand in marriage to the prince, becomes a changed person. He is now calm and respectful. He gained the love of both young and old, helping people whenever he gets the chance to. Zina and Azari got married a year later and have 3 children. And on his coronation day as the new king, Azari told his children his past story, so they don't make the same mistakes he made because of his father's status and wealth.